Guys, we're back.
We are back.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Adam. You know me. You love me. Daniel, you're here.
Yes. And we have a very special guest today.
I mean, we're going to get to that, Daniel.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I'm jumping the gun. I'm too excited.
Yeah, I know, right? Alex, you're here. And what are you wearing? What's that?
My Dortmund jersey.
Your what?
Borussia Dortmund, Bundesliga.
Oh, okay.
Soccer.
Respects.
Soccer. Yeah, everyone's talking about Bayern Munich, and it's really pissing me off. Alphonso Davies, get out of here. Okay?
No, you can't beat Dortmund.
No. They're always second. It's like being a Leafs fan. We're never going to win the Atlantic Division. We're never going to win the Bundesliga.
Man, there's an Atlantic Division team that we're going to talk about a little later. Speaking of the Atlantic Division. Hey, anyway, there was a fourth voice there. Mike's back. Hey.
Hey, how's it going, boys?
Doing well. How are you, man?
I'm not too bad. I'm just hanging out. Just like he's Alex over here is wearing his Borussia Dortmund jersey. I'm wearing the best team in the state of New York.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Rangers. That's true. That's true.
Not a joke, like one of them that we're gonna get into later.
We have a little joke here that Daniel's really not a Leafs fan. He's just a Ducks fan. And the more Mike, the more I don't believe you're a Leafs fan, and the more that you're a Rangers fan. Because you said you were from New York, right?
Just have a lot of family out there.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, hey, they're a fun team to keep an eye on, especially this year. Brad, best player. But I think we should start off quickly talking about some non-hockey stuff, and that is, guys, Roger Goodell in the NFL are a bit of a joke. So Roger Goodell came out and basically, without saying it, has now green-lighted teams to bring Colin Kaepernick back in. And it just so happens to be around the time of Black Lives Matter and, people really trying to make social change. And I don't know about you guys, but I find it just a bit of a joke that it took all of this for the NFL to finally let this guy back into the league or, open the door back for him.
I think so. I think it's pretty tragic considering, how they try to set up that whole bogus publicity stunt of a workout, and now everything that's transpiring in the world now, you're going to let him come back?
Yeah. I mean, it's not a surprise considering the type of owners in the NFL.
I mean, you're not wrong there.
I remember when, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, nothing. No.
I just remember, I think this was last year in our lab when we talked about, remember those Nike commercials? When it was overly politicized, and it was at a time where I remember small stores were going we're not selling Nikes anymore because of Colin Kaepernick.
I remember that. People burning their Nike stuff.
So didn't people buy the Nike stuff and then burn it?
Yeah.
That's what happened. So you bought the Nike stuff. So the money's now with Nike.
I remember there's a small
and you burn it.
Yeah, I remember there was a small store where he refused to sell Nike stuff because of Colin Kaepernick, and he went out of business, but he's like, it was worth it, man.
Wait, what state was that in?
I want to say Ohio, but I need to confirm.
Oh, of course.
Hey, but we'll continue on the non-sports stuff.
I'm telling you one thing, though. If Colin Kaepernick, regardless of how the league's opening up to racial issues and stuff like that, there's no way he's getting a job with Jerry Jones on the Cowboys. Not like he would because of the roster. Zeke and my guy Dak are going to keep him going, but there's no way he'd play for a team in Texas or something like that. Like those states, they're for sure going to keep this kind of look on him.
They're one of those classic red states. It's being a bit political here. But we'll one little other thing when it comes to outside of hockey. In about a week, it was baseball's coming back. It's not coming back, and now it looks like it is coming back.
This is the most insane thing.
No one knows.
I seriously hope, and this is the cynical part of me that loves the chaos, right? A bit of Jeff Merrick in me. I want this to keep going because nothing has officially been confirmed with this new offer, right?
Oh, it's just been a lot of proposals. I know Ken Rosenthal last night tweeted that they're going to try to go for a 60 to 70 game season.
Salary still prorated.
Yeah. Not sure how they're going to do it. I know that a lot of health officials saying that, try to not play the athletes outside in October when it's like the colder weather. Try to like wrap everything up, but like it's so much, especially with like baseball already down to less than 100
sorry,
games.
Daniel, you're cutting a bit in and out.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like less than 100 games. I don't know how they're going to do it. I know a lot of teams are really kind of mad about that. And I don't know where they're going to kind of go from here. If they could try to finish everything before like the winter, like the fall months.
Are they still going to be traveling to the different ballparks? Is that what the plan is? Or are they looking for hub cities as well?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Because
There's not been a lot of information on that.
I haven't heard a single thing about a hub city, and they're just going to, if that's the case, they're just going to do the complete opposite of everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least in North America. Obviously in Europe, it's a little bit different. They're still traveling within the country. But the NHL, to finish off the season, they have hub cities. The NBA has a hub city. The MLS has a hub city. And then the MLB is like, screw it. We're going to go throughout the summer and go to different ballparks.
Man, just get rid of Manfred already. This guy.
Did you guys see Will Baldwin's tweet when people were saying that Manfred was worse than Batman? They had like Batman is the third best commissioner.
Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty funny.
He just like instead of 3, he just put Batman like maybe just at like 98 or something.
Yeah.
No, and then he put like Manfred like 700 or something.
Hey, we gotta get Will on here. He's a good one of the funniest people in the program, by the way.
He's a funny dude. I like Will a lot. He's a good guy. I had him in my lab and for that feature writing class. Jeez. PTSD, man. Triggers.
Okay, what's worse, the feature writing class or the Leafs losing to an emergency backup goalie?
Tough. So probably Leafs losing.
That's
I
fair.
forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, I think I'll tell you the story. That I was going to the beer store and then and I was watching the game earlier, and then I saw Clifford just absolutely freaking bulldoze. Was it Mrazek or Reimer?
It was Mrazek, I think. Reimer's
on Detroit. What am I saying?
No, Reimer's
Sorry, Reimer was Bernier.
Reimer started, I think.
Yeah.
Then he got injured. Mrazek came in. Or it's one of the other way around.
I think Mrazek was sick, right? Mrazek is super sick.
I think Reimer like messed up his groin. Then Mrazek came in, and Campbell bulldozed Mrazek, and then and then that's when
Clifford.
Clifford. Who did I say?
Campbell. You said Campbell, but Clifford came in.
The goalie just
came over.
One of those games.
Clifford just absolutely just rocked Mrazek's whole world. Like just ended him right there. Like just put him 6 feet under. Okay. And then I remember I like because the TV timeout was so long because they're trying to figure out what are we gonna do. It's like the Joker said in the Dark Knight. Everyone loses their minds. So then I went to the beer store. And I get a I'm with my buddy and I get a text message and it's just like. Sorry, not a text message. I get a score update, just like, and a couple of tweet updates. Like, yeah, no, they're putting in an emergency backup goalie. He's a 40-year-old guy named David Ayers. He's their Zamboni driver, and I was just like, what is going on? And they lose the game, and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, so I heard after that game. So at that point, Bogosian had just been released from his contract. I think a few days before. I read somewhere on Twitter that Kyle Dubas made an offer to bring him in as a free agent. And he, right after that game, he pulled the contract offer because he's like, this team doesn't deserve it. And he wasn't wrong.
Doesn't deserve anything. I remember Steve Dangle on his video. He's just like, if I'm Kyle Dubas, I'm trading everyone, every single person on the roster, gone.
All right, well, we'll move on before the both of you end up having panic attacks and we lose you for the show. We've got some stuff for the hub cities. Obviously, it's all but officially confirmed. The Vegas baby. And it sounds like right now the front runner. It comes down to health officials and the local government and that, but or provincial, sorry. But it looks like the front runner for the second hub city is our dear home city of Toronto. There is on the show, Mike, I don't know if you've heard it, but we have had some words about, whether it is right to have, teams in Toronto for the hub cities, the whole 14-day thing. I just want to get your thoughts here quickly about, Toronto being the second hub city.
Okay, well, when it comes to hub cities, I'm just going to start up. I'm very happy that Vegas is going to get it. Mm-hmm. Happy that these athletes are going to be able to live in a nice hotel, go play some craps or some poker at the blackjack table after a game. That's awesome. I love that. Good for them. Toronto. I said this on my podcast. Honestly, man, I'm not a fan of the idea.
Mm-hmm. Why is
and
that?
The reason being, you see it. The government's willing to forego this whole 14-day thing to get the 14-day quarantine period, which honestly, with the way things are looking in Canada's starting to lift up anyways. But when it comes to that, why are we? Look, I get they're professional athletes, but we're all human beings that have the same kind of. We can all feel this virus the same way. We're all equal. We're still people, regardless of whether you're making an NHL salary or you're a friggin' janitor. Why do they get, why, when everything is still in lockdown and all that, do they still get to have, this whole 14-day thing lifted? It's call me selfish, I don't care. As much as I want professional sports back, I think also it'd be better with a team that's predominant, or a league that's predominantly American. Mm-hmm. To be in an American hub city. I honestly think Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania was the best hub, at least in my opinion. I don't know. I don't think Toronto would be the best, especially if if something happens. Lord knows if more virus breaks out, and we're already getting lower and lower as a city and as a country, and we're doing the opposite of what we're trying to achieve here.
Right.
I kind of agree with that. This whole idea that, we have to have this fan service to the Canadian fans, especially in what people view Toronto as the mecca of hockey. It's something that has to be brushed aside, especially in a time like this. I agree with you. We've talked about this so many times on the show. Pittsburgh would have been an amazing idea. Just keep it American, keep it where it is right now. Hockey. If hockey is back, hockey is back. But
it's not like we're gonna watch the game, and we're not gonna be able to go there and watch it. There's no fans. So, what's the point?
Have they talked about, because I know the NBA, I guess, I feel like a few episodes ago, we were talking about how the NHL was so ahead of the NBA. And within the last 2 weeks, the NBA has just come in and smacked the NHL in the face.
I'm not going to, I don't think that.
No, but they have a plan, right?
Okay,
you look at, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Because you look at the NBA, is there anything the NHL's talked about in terms of the quarantine? Because you look at what they're doing in Orlando, saying, okay, we're going to set up all these things. You can go play ping pong, you can go play video games, whatever it is. Is that how they're going to do it?
That must be nice.
NHL? Yeah, I know. Is that how they're going to do it in the NHL? Because that would be a very different conversation.
I think it's also a little different in the fact that they're doing it in one hub city, namely in one amusement park of a city. So I think, and you don't know the venues yet. In Toronto, what's the venue going to be? Obviously you have the ACC, but then you have where the players going to lodge. Are Toronto players going to be able to just go home? Are they going to be locked in a hotel too? The Leafs, it's all different, right? And at least with Orlando's it's actually set for that, and now they're trying to get into the NBA world. That's insane.
See, when we talked about Toronto a couple episodes ago, when that list came out, I made the argument to Adam that, they have the ACC, and I get that the NHL, Bettman talking about how he wants to have a set of standards when it comes to locker rooms, when it comes to actually being able to broadcast. I made the argument to Adam, why don't you look at, if you're in Toronto, I don't remember what it's called. The Leafs practice arena. Was it the Ford Performance
MasterCard Center. Don't ever call it Ford Performance. It's MasterCard Center. It's a MasterCard Center.
It has two NHL size rinks. As the AHL one, which I don't think is any different.
No, it's literally just the same size, just with the Marlies logo slapped on it.
And then it has the Olympic-sized rink. Like, that's 3 rinks right there. And I can't imagine that. And I could be completely wrong. I haven't been in a locker room there. But
they're really nice.
Right? Like, I can't imagine that, MLSE is spending all that money and they're going to put crappy locker rooms in there, knowing their reputation.
What's MLSE? Right. They have a blank check for everything.
Yes. Yeah. That is money. Unfortunately, money does talks, and Mike, you mentioned earlier a bit about the sorry to go backwards a bit here, but about just kind of what's wrong about giving the professional athletes the exception really. And I was listening to, I believe it was the Monday episode of Leafs Hour, JD Bunkus and all those kind of guys, right?
You were listening to Leafs Hour.
Yeah, I once in a while I do.
Wow.
So weird.
Surprised.
Damn.
I don't hate Toronto. It's just when you hear and you're not a Leafs fan, you start hearing the same things over and over. But I really like JD Bunkus, right? But he said something along the lines of, I'm going to try and paraphrase here, and I encourage listeners to, after they've checked out this episode, in fact, why don't you do it on the YouTube channel and check out the video experience, and then after that, check out Mike's podcast, then go look at this Monday's episode of Leafs Hour, because Justin Bourne was on as well. And JD Bunkus said something to the effect of that, well, you can get upset about a rich person getting into a club. And he's like, well, that's just the way it is. And I thought it was a bit of a cop-out answer. Because if this is to a lesser extent, the reason that the NBA, everyone may not be going is because, a lot of key players don't want to take away from what's going on in the world. And a big part of this Black Lives Matter sort of stuff going on is, making a real change. And I think with everything going on, just saying, okay, let the rich guys get away with it, give them an exception, is just not right to me. But anything else you want to kind of add to this before we move on?
See, the interesting thing about the whole situation now going on with Kyrie and him trying to him and other players saying, hey, let's not play. And I heard, I know these rumors are fake, but I know all, people came out about him starting his own league. It just seemed really, it just seemed really messy.
Crazy.
But I get, I read something and I can't remember where I read it. But if LeBron says they're playing basketball,
they're playing basketball.
It's just that's just LeBron, right? He has that say. Okay, quickly before we move on. Mm-hmm. Last episode, I didn't explain myself properly because I couldn't. My head was all messed up. We're talking about the Lego movie. My head wasn't in the right place.
Oh my goodness.
Adam asked me if it was right or if it was wrong, right? If to exempt the players from the 14-day quarantine, and my answer is it's clearly wrong.
Yeah. Don't ask how we went from Lego movie to quarantine talk.
That's you guys have some brilliant minds.
I don't know. I don't think we transitioned well, but we
just started talking about the topics. Yeah,
I'm like, screw it, let's just go. So
sorry, go on, Alex.
It's wrong, and it's not. But it's just, when is it right? To me, when is it right to start playing again? Is it when fans come back? And I think that's where everything for me starts to get a little confusing, because if the answer is when we're not in a pandemic, that could be years. So okay, it's wrong to, and I agree it's wrong, but then we're not going to be playing sport. There's going to be no professional sports leagues for years because there's a pandemic going on. If the pandemic lasts that long, right? In the past examples, yeah, it has, right? Is it when a vaccine comes out? Because that could also take years, right? So it's a matter of determining what is a right situation to that. That's what when is it right for them to play?
Yeah.
It's a really difficult question to answer.
I mean, yeah, we could talk about this for a lot longer, but we've been going for some time here. But no, I get what you're saying, Alex. That's what makes this, I guess, such an interesting and difficult debate, because everything, and I think you were talking about as well, Mike. Cases in Ontario. I think we've had a good few days here where there have been less than 200 cases reported here in Toronto, or in Ontario.
That's really good, man. That's really good, comparatively speaking.
Yes, and then the other end of the sword, yes, they're going down, but Toronto itself is still, and there are factors like population, that of course, but it's still the area that has the most cases. And then you think, okay, but what's it going to look like in a few weeks? And that's a giant question mark. And there's just so much uncertainty along with this. But we'll move on
quickly. A really big incentive for the NHL coming to Canada is the dollar.
Yeah.
Right. One US dollar. I just searched that. $1 US is $1.36 Canadian. Right. So
a lot to work with.
Right. So
what do you think they make? What do you think all players are making in American salary? Getting paid in American money.
Yeah. Hey, and then that's the great thing to do with those no state taxed cities and that. So, but we'll go on to a bit of a lighter topic for us to kind of laugh at. Especially, I think the Leafs fans are going to get a kick out of this.
Oh my god,
guys! The Islanders don't have a home for next season because Nassau Coliseum is closing indefinitely.
So, I don't understand what this is because it was this year and it was next year that they were splitting between Brooklyn and. What was the other arena?
Barclays
Center.
Yeah, Barclays Center and Nassau Coliseum, right?
Was it Nassau or was it Barclays that has the stupid car there?
Barclays
is the one in Brooklyn, right?
Dumb.
That's the one where the Nets play.
Yes, the one that's not built for hockey, and then the Nassau
just has a car there.
And it's just built around the subway. Yeah.
So next year, if this is still closed, right? Let's say next season we start in January, and this thing isn't open. They're playing in Brooklyn for a full year before their new arena opens, and this is the exact arena where their attendance is garbage.
It's 13,000.
Well, just even percentage-wise.
Yeah, it's the Islanders. No one wants to go watch them. Everyone wants to go watch the Rangers, man. Come on.
Yes, they want to go yell at John Tavares and call him a snake.
It's like Sean Avery said about the Islanders that were booing Tavares. You losers. Every time the Rangers fans came into town, they'd take you out of your own barn. Just fill it up with Rangers fans. Love Sean Avery. Favorite Ranger.
Really? Man,
one of them.
I'm not going to say who. Wait a minute. Did we just lose Daniel?
I'm
right here.
Oh,
no, I was just thinking like Sean Avery. I know like people love the guy, but I know that whole thing with like Brodeur and everything. That still gets back to me.
I was about to say.
When he calls out the entire NHL, it's like, looks like everybody's keen to my sloppy seconds. And I was just like,
yeah.
Just rock star.
Or like that one part where like when they were shaking hands and then they were interviewing Sean Avery, and he's like, Brodeur doesn't shake his hand. He's like, yeah, I know, Fatso there forgot to shake my hand.
I thought you'd be upset, Daniel, because you're the biggest Brodeur fan.
I am, but like I don't know, just like Sean Avery is just that guy. Like it's like a kind of guy where he brought like a certain personality to the NHL that they're like, oh, whoa, wait a minute.
I'll tell you, his podcast, oh my God, it's so good.
Mike, how many podcasts do you listen to? Because you're a Spittin'
Chicklets. I'll run you down all the podcasts I listen to.
Yeah.
Spittin' Chicklets, I was just listening to them this morning when I was walking my dog before I came home. Mm-hmm. Got a lot of stuff to talk about in terms of Buffalo in that episode. Really got some more info to talk about. Mm-hmm. No Gruffs Given, because it used to be No F's Given by Sean Avery, but now it's No Gruffs Given because of the algorithm. He changed the name.
Smart.
I don't like to listen to my own podcast because I can't really stand my own voice. Yeah. The Steve Dangle podcast, of course.
Yeah, classic.
With him and the guys. The Watch Your Tone podcast by Tony D'Angelo. Oh my God, I love it. I literally feel like I'm in an episode of Jersey Shore watching it.
Adam doesn't look impressed.
No.
I love Tony D'Angelo, man. I love Tony D'Angelo.
I was asking you about it, Mike, and you were saying that it's very much, it's just pure sports talk, and it's pretty. Knowing those two players,
it's not talking about Trump for once. It's Tony D'Angelo not talking about Donald Trump for once. I love it.
you can say what you want about Tony D'Angelo and his political views.
We've said it before here, yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, hell of a player. And if he's like, you can bet that so many people are going to trash that podcast without listening to it, and that's what's tough. It's classic internet stuff.
And then another one that's good. Yeah. Sorry, a last podcast that's good. The Connor Carrick podcast that just launched. I like it too.
I only listened to one episode.
I listened to the one with Connor Brown because he's an Etobicoke boy like me, and he was talking about how like the trade out of Toronto was like the best thing that could happen in his career and stuff like that. And honestly, it's a pretty good podcast. Connor Carrick definitely has. I think he definitely has a career in media when his career's over.
Yeah. Hey, he's great. He has like coffee shops and that, doesn't he? Oh man.
Doesn't he play? Isn't he right-handed?
I think so. Yeah.
Remember, competing with Roman Polak for that spot. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that time when we had the stubborn coach. I forgot.
Sorry, Islanders fans, that we've just completely gone off of Nassau. But
yeah,
they
deserve
it. They deserve
it. I'm actually more intrigued by listening to Roman Polak news than I am about the Islanders. Roman Polak's gone.
That sucks.
It's gone.
That's so sad.
Just left.
Okay, who's better, Roman Polak or Cody Ceci?
Oh my god, I would take Roman Polak strictly just because he can. None of them can do anything offensively. Polak's just a little bit better defensively, and he knows how to hit.
Yeah, Roman Polak. Also, his salary. You know what you're getting with him when you pay for him. Not with Cody Ceci in that $4.5.
$4 million for.
I don't think there's anyone I would pick over under Cody Ceci. There's so many. He's so. I bet he's a tremendous person, though.
And you and I mentioned this last time. You're like,
yeah,
you said this exactly. Like, man, I go get a beer with him, but
yeah.
But we wouldn't trust him. Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna park the car.
Breakout pass? Absolutely not.
No. Okay.
I'd rather have Ron Hainsey do a breakout pass than Cody Ceci
on his wrong side. Yes.
Yeah, on his wrong side.
All right. Pavel Datsyuk.
What is going on?
I know.
Let me pull this up.
When I was reading yesterday, I went out for a run, and I was reading. I'm like, what is going on?
Okay, so for those of you
what the hell?
For those of you who don't know, I'll read you this headline. Okay. Pavel Datsyuk's agent denies ex-NHL star is holed up with coronavirus deniers. So
so this is.
I don't know what to say. Apparently, there is this, Russian, priest or whatever, and he took over this church or whatever, and he's been holding up in there a monastery, with a bunch of other coronavirus deniers. And apparently, at first, Dan Milstein said he couldn't get in contact with Pavel. And now it's no, it's not happening. What's going on?
Have you seen the video that Dan Milstein put out of Pavel Datsyuk this morning? It's from behind, so you can't see his face, but it doesn't look like Pavel Datsyuk.
It doesn't look like that Quasimodo looking figure.
No, it doesn't look like Pavel Datsyuk. So the best part. So it's not. This is the priest. He thinks that COVID-19 is a cover-up to micro the population.
Oh my god.
Is Detroit Red Wings great Pavel Datsyuk with rogue priest in monastery takeover? Reports conflict from Detroit Free Press.
I've never been more confused reading a headline in my life. I was about to take a shower, and all I was thinking of in the shower is just, what?
Yeah, so I don't know if this is from RT.com. It's for sport. Who wrote it?
I have that pulled up here, actually.
Yeah, so it says that he is Datsyuk is at this facility supporting the rebel leader. And he goes, and so his name is Sergius. Sergius is reportedly the hockey star's personal confessor. And this is the quote. Father Sergius has been my spiritual father for more than 10 years. He has a burning, loving heart. He sees me through and through. That's what Pavel Datsyuk said.
All right, Pavel.
I wish you the best.
Yeah, we wish you the best in your spiritual enlightenment and your journey. But dude, what the hell? Like,
stay safe, Pavel. You were like my favorite player to watch back in the day. The Magic Man.
The Datsukian.
It may be a perfect podcast series. Like what's going through the mind of Pavel Datsuk right now?
We have a weekly checkup on Pavel Datsuk to see what's going on.
So another episode of Pavel Datsuk today.
Still stuck in the monastery.
For lunch
It's
today.
like 10. It's a 10-second episode. Still stuck in the monastery every week.
All right. Well, we'll just go on from there. This is a bit more of a serious topic. Alex, do you want to just tell us a bit about I think he's a former Kitchener Ranger or still?
Yeah, Eric Guest.
Guest videos.
Let's see
on Instagram. Those were something.
Yeah, it was. Let me pull up the. There was a video right on Instagram. He played for the Kitchener Rangers from 2016 until 2019, and they pretty much. I don't have the video up. I'm just reading what the quotes say. He says he was told he wasn't allowed to leave the bathroom until he used cocaine. This was when he was 16.
And this is at a team party, right? Or
Rookie party.
Yeah. And then teammates brought him in. It's just another example of I think before the Akeem Aliu, Bill Peters stuff kind of came out about the racial issues, hazing was talked about a lot. I believe it was either 2 years ago, especially in the CHL, and apparently they were trying very much to stop it.
Dan Carcillo, he's the big advocate for that too.
Yeah. Sorry, say it again, Mike.
Don't forget, Dan Carcillo is a huge advocate for that as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's two different issues I see here, guys, because it is the hazing, which is just it's sickening, really. And again, we just talked about Akeem Aliu, his stuff of being talking about how he didn't want to be shoved into a bathroom naked with a few other rookies, and also. This year we all kind of laughed and joked when Evgeny Kuznetsov was caught on camera with a white powder and then dared to get tested. He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Test me." And then he got
and then
tested.
Boom, gets his bluff called out.
Yeah. There was that famous clip of Ryan Johansson a few years ago tapping his nose and going, shaking his head like insinuating to sniff something. It's common knowledge that
there's Mike Richards' entire career.
Yes, Mike Richards.
That unprecedented buyout.
Yeah, it's two different issues here of hazing and the NHL's, supreme lacks when it comes to the wellness policy, because cocaine is not a performance enhancing, but it's still an illegal drug. So I don't know where exactly you guys want to start on this. We'll talk about it quickly, but Mike, starting with you.
Well, with hazing, I mean, it's an issue that it's being tackled, every day. It's everyone's trying to lower it, especially like when you see cases like Akeem Aliu, like these guys, they don't come out until much later about it, and it's unfortunate because if they feel like they can't, that their career's on the line if they tell anybody. And I think the next step is trying to provide that level of openness. It's not, we're not going to kick you off the team, we're not going to put you on waivers for anything if you're being hazed. If it's like, okay, look, if it's like rookies are putting the bags on the bus and stuff like that, that's fine. But if it's like get in the bathroom naked and then shave your asses like they did in Blue Mountain State and stuff like that, then that's just like, yeah, no, you gotta put a stop to that. And then when it comes to the NHL and Coke, Jesus Christ, these players, they love Coke. It's not a secret. And NHLers love Coke.
Was it in the athletic poll?
Yeah, they literally did an athletic poll about how many players are pretty much on that stuff. And honestly, I think the NHL now is if you guys watch the Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, and how he's talking about how the Bulls were a traveling circus of drugs. Yeah. And he's like, you walk into the room, you got your lines on the right side, you got your weed smokers on the left side, and I was just out of there. And I was like, dude, that's literally the entire NHL now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just like an everyday occurrence, and like obviously it's one of those well kept secrets that you aren't supposed to know about, but isn't much of a secret. Like it's a secret that's not a secret, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's just like another secret. It's just like how the London Knights supposedly pay some players a little incentives, but yeah, it's just, you know what I mean. It's one of those not so well kept secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When it comes, the thing with with hazing, I feel like we're told that it's getting better, right? Like it's not happening.
I'm not sure it is.
But then all these stories come out. Like you think about this one. This is 2016 to 2019, right? So how old is Eric Guest?
He's our age,
right? So this is 4 years ago. That's really recent.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? Is it happening or is it not happening? That's the issue. That's the thing I have an issue with. Is like don't lie to us. Like. And I think like, and I know exactly what Mike was talking about, especially when, you know, if you say something, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
You're done in hockey.
Yeah, Eric Guest himself, I believe I saw a quote saying that he didn't want to name any players because he said it would for sure stop me from playing in the NHL.
Yeah.
Which is, if that's not a red flag, I don't know what is.
Well, it's just
he didn't name any players. I know in his videos.
No,
it's just it's not right, but it's that's how hockey is. Like, and I get that's one of the things that's I think ends up changing.
It's part of the culture change that needs to happen.
Right.
And yeah, it's not just at the NHL level. It's at the AHL.
Starts in junior. Starts in minor, junior.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Daniel, what's your take on all this?
Yeah, like I think like two things I could kind of take from this, like we've talked about before, like these guys are so young, and you know it's something that you know maybe they can't really kind of fathom what's going on at the time for them. And I remember last year when I was like doing an assignment on this about how like a bunch of these guys, like I think Patrick Sharp talked about it, how like you know you're 14 or 15, you leave your family to go to these other places and your team becomes your family. So whatever goes, you go with whatever whatever goes, you just say like, yeah, I'm for the team. You know, that's the identity.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to like be the guy that sticks out or anything, you know, because, you know, like your coach is basically like your pseudo parents.
You got to put your head down and just do it.
What's the oldest you can be in the CHL? It's 20, right?
21.
Imagine being 16, right? Because you enter the league, you're around 16.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just surrounded with 19, 20, even 21 year olds.
The median age of the CHL is around 19.
Mm-hmm.
And like the 21 is only if you like turn 21 in your overage year.
Right. I just think like me at 19, almost 20 versus me at 16 are two completely different people.
Yeah. Same.
So it's so weird to imagine having to be surrounded by all like 19 year olds all the time.
16, like grade 10?
11.
Grade 10,
11.
The draft happened in grade 10 for us. The draft happened in grade 10, and then grade 11 these guys are playing.
Right.
Okay, yeah. And so then just hanging out with, you know, guys that would normally be the age of university, right? And it's just...
And not to mention, like, even, like, when you're going to towns like that, like, the players are going to the bars. Like, if you're going to London, if you're in London, you're going to their Prohibition bar after. If you're in Guelph, you're going to Trapper's Alley after. Like, you're not in university half the time, but you're still partying.
Yeah,
because hockey is a party sport, and like these guys, especially in the OHL, like you're gonna go party after a game, especially because your games are on the weekends, and if you're at home, oh my god, yeah.
I think Jeff Merrick said once, and you talk about party sport, that hockey is a beer sport. So it's one of those situations, right? But we'll finish off the Power Hour with a bit of lighthearted stuff, because for some reason, Alex, you decided to put Matt Murray into the Power Hour. And the only thing I've seen about Matt Murray is that he unfollowed the Penguins on a social media platform.
That is exactly it.
Why?
So
because he's getting traded.
Something we don't know. Yeah, I saw like maybe like what is it? A bit of like under a month ago. There, the Sportsnet are like, is it true Matt Murray is coming to the Leafs?
I would not want him. I'm sorry.
No.
Neither would I. But yeah, he unfollowed the Penguins. I think it's such a tough situation in Pittsburgh because they have 3 NHL. Like I think Casey DeSmith can play in the NHL.
He's a capable backup. Yeah.
Right? Like it's a capable backup, and it's a matter of is Tristan Jarry a capable starter, like 60-game starter.
Your Penguins goalie's going to steal my job. Oh, Matt Murray, how does it feel? Marc-Andre Fleury says in Vegas, laughing at him.
Well, if Matt Murray gets traded, there's a list of teams who could use a starting goalie.
Maybe we'll talk about one a little later.
Send him to Detroit.
Detroit.
To end his career.
New Jersey.
Oh, God.
That rotating door of goalies there.
I hate New Jersey. I hate it.
Why?
I'm just gonna put it out. I hate them.
What did New Jersey do?
Well, he's a Rangers fan, so.
Oh, that's true.
Well, not just that, but it's just how do you blow up in the offseason and make your team that much better and just suck? Just plain out suck.
Corey I'll give you the answer. It's one name. Corey Schneider.
Corey Schneider, winless in how many years?
You know what? Despite doing so poor, and I keep bringing this up on the podcast, Mackenzie Blackwood had a pretty good season.
He had a good season for the fact that he had no defense. PK Subban, how are you?
Oh, poor guy.
Adam's still cheering for him. He's still bounce back.
He's still the kind of guy we need in the sport. All right.
Capo Caco had a better year than Jack Hughes.
Did he?
Putting that out there.
Jack Hughes, don't even. That's a conversation for another day.
My freaking Caco, who goes, who just broke the internet with his video. I remember when he first got there. Just got to New York City. Wow, it's a nice city. I'm like that. That's just amazing. I love this guy.
Good city. God, I love Scandinavians. There's this Mike, I don't know how familiar you are with F1, but there's a driver, I think he's Sauber now. Named Kimi Räikkönen. My God, he's got the driest sense of humor. I love him so much. Do you guys remember Patrick Laine's interview his draft year when he's just lying on the floor like, yeah, shite, I think I can go number 1. I used to shoot the Coke bottles with my dad, and he beat me for a long time. Like, what? Where did his accent go, by the way? It's gone. Man. Scandinavian.
Patrick
Laine.
Just the Winnipeg boy now.
The Amishman when he grows out that hideous beard.
I have to say, yeah, he looks like
the neck beard.
Just hideous. He looks like Moses. Like Amish Moses.
All right. We'll move on though from Matt Murray because God damn it, Alex are putting him in. All right. Last time, no, Siri, go away. I don't care. Okay. No, Siri, go away. God damn it. It's time for the main event. A ding ding.
Is it though?
Oh, I
swear. Does someone else have something to say?
Did I forget something? Oh, I did actually.
Oh, did you?
Guys, I don't know about you, but man, I've made myself look like such a nerd on this show. You know, massive Star Wars guy.
Did you draw another Seattle logo?
I actually thought we were going to talk about. Oh wait, is that the main event we're going to talk about that you wrote down? The other one we didn't talk about.
What did we not talk?
With a certain newspaper apologizing.
Oh no, we took that out.
We took that out.
Okay. I thought that was interesting, but yeah, we'll move on.
All right. Anyway. Okay. Do we want to talk about the Sens and why they're not in the wrong for what they are in the wrong? But I was going to mention Pokemon.
Eugene
I was going to mention that one. Yeah,
can get out of here. Okay.
Okay. So we're not going to. Okay, we'll save it for next
Eugene
show.
Melnick can go.
Hashtag Melnick out.
Yeah.
Hashtag send the Sens to Quebec City, please. Hey, NHL, you want some fan service? How about instead of sending the hub city, Toronto, how about Send the Sens or the Coyotes
to Ottawa.
Yeah, put it in the city of Ottawa instead of in the middle of nowhere. So I remember I went quickly before Adam, because I know Adam's already upset that I'm taking up his time.
What?
When I was looking at universities, I went to look at University of Ottawa, like Carleton. I went to both of them, and I asked them both, how far is the Canadian Tire Center from the university, which is in Ottawa? They told me 40 minutes. 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm actually moving to Ottawa in 2.5 weeks, and I don't think I'll ever catch a Sens game ever.
No.
When I went to Ottawa, I visited it earlier this year, and it was just like we could have gotten tickets for $15. Mm-hmm. The only thing it was getting there was just like a mission.
Yeah.
That we didn't want to do.
By the way, Mike, when we're done recording, can you remind me that I need to ask you a question, by the way?
Okay.
Okay,
we'll hold you accountable to that, Adam.
Hold you accountable. Hey, no, I don't know. Maybe you got to make an exception to the Leafs are going. You got to be one of those Leafs fans that go in their droves to make the Sens feel like they're not in their own barn. A tradition, a hockey tradition. All right, yeah, we'll go on though, because Alex, how long have we been recording for? Is there a way for you to check that? Or?
I have no idea. Let's just.
I think we're making good time though. By the time
we're about 40 minutes in, 50 minutes in.
Thank you, Mike.
No.
Mike Jagstar. Star Jagstar. Okay, guys. The biggest story of the week.
You won't distract me.
Easily.
So I'm just letting my mom know the kilo can come down.
Oh, what a sweetie. Don't get my hopes up, Mike.
Yeah, but the boys love him.
The boys do love him. God, now I have my hopes up. Anyway. Okay, not the Ottawa Senators. I'm sorry. Okay. So the Buffalo Sabres bloodletting was a term thrown around.
Yep.
I'm gonna,
mass exodus.
Yes. I'll just read you. This is from Frank Saravelli. Final head count in Sabres Tuesday house cleaning appears to be 22. It's a bloodletting that may be unprecedented in the NHL's history. Certainly in one day by one franchise. If Terry Pegula wanted lean, he's got it now. Scouting staff of 21 has been reduced to 7. I'll read you some of the key names here. Rochester Americans, a.k.a. their AHL. Head coach Chris Taylor was let go. Rob Jankowski, director of amateur scouting. Jason Botterill, the general manager, as well as both his assistants.
What?
A plethora of people were let go. It seems to be another reset in Buffalo.
Hey, ex-Leafs goalie was let go too, Mike Komisarek.
Mike Komisarek.
He was he's one of their player development coaches.
Is he right-handed?
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
yeah.
There are so many elements to get into here. That's why we had a bit of a reduced power hour. But before we get into specifics, Terry Pegula, Kim Pegula saying 3 weeks ago that Jason Botterill had the nod. We're not going to talk about Jason Botterill deserving to be fired because I think that's not the story here. That, and I think we all can agree he probably should.
Even though he sucked.
Yeah.
Did he though? Was he that bad?
Okay,
I will tell you. No, I will. When we get into it, I will give you like a really good way to put it. That the Spit and Chicklets guy said.
Because I think he gets a lot of crap for the Jeff Skinner deal, and I listened to the 31 Thoughts. It was a couple days ago.
We will get into that. Please.
Okay.
Please. Okay. No, because there's a way I want to do this, and before we go into each specific, because I want to go a bit of a chain here. But before we do that, I think it would be wrong if we didn't take a moment for those who did get let go, because it's such a crappy situation.
Have to pay respects.
Yeah, not just for it's a good old Twitch stream there. Got to press the F. But anyway, but in all seriousness, it's just such a terrible time for this kind of stuff. Not only because of the pandemic, because also you're being let go of a team that looks to be a disaster. Their AHL head coach Elliot Friedman made the point of saying we're getting better and better, and I think Brian Burke put it best that. These cuts, a lot of it were, yes, you're getting rid of fat, but you're also cutting some muscle. So, guys, where would you like to start here?
I don't know.
Where can't we start here?
Okay,
exactly.
So how about this? We start with the fact that 3 weeks ago, I believe it was. Kim Bagula came out and said that Jason Botterill had their vote of confidence and he was the GM.
Let's start with the real thing here. Let's start about how Buffalo is the biggest effing joke in professional sports.
Yeah.
They are the biggest joke. Pathetic. Hate them. You guys are screwing over good people. You guys, Terry and Kim, just retire, man. No one likes you anymore. You guys you came in here as saviors and you just are just destroying everything.
I'll just read you a tweet that's going to support you here, Mike, from Dmitry Filipovich. So it's weird how, quote, it's weird how the Buffalo Sabres not making the playoffs in 9 years perfectly lined up with the 9 years that they've been owned by the Pagulas.
Right.
That's got to be pure coincidence. So it's a good thing that they say they're going to have more of a say in hockey decisions.
How do you come out 3 weeks ago and say you're giving Jason Botterill the vote of confidence, and 3 weeks later you have the audacity to fire him and say you weren't being heard
while cleaning house?
Yes, a lot of credibility lost with that. I was so confused when this happened.
I want to give them the benefit
jerks.
of the doubt. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt because I look at them cleaning house and bringing in their guy and saying, hey, screw the hockey guys. Let's bring in someone completely different. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt because for so long, there's been a rotating cast of coaches, a rotating cast of general managers, and no one gets a new chance, right? But I can't give them the benefit of the doubt when they say, we weren't being heard. This isn't a rebuild. We're going to fire everyone. Like, how do you fire Jason Botterill after giving him a vote of confidence?
Let me put it this way. Paul Bisnet and Ryan Whitney put it really well. In order to be an NHL GM, you can't, and especially even to be a successful organization, you can't have that kind of turnover because GM's moves, like the moves GMs make, are gonna, like, you gotta let time pass for them to really come to fruition. You can't keep going with Tim Murray for 3 years and then Jason Botterill for 3 years. Like, you gotta, like, look, don't get me wrong. Jason Botterill had a tough record. Of course, he had a tough soak. I mean, the Ryan O'Reilly trade, that blew up. The Patrick Berglund situation, that blew up. Just, there's not much to show so far. I mean, look at Casey Middlestad, a guy you draft to bring in. The guy stinks. Nylander, and, like, look, I get that, but, like, you got to give a GM at least 5 years because it takes a long time for a player to develop. You got to give him at least 5-6 years of development so that they can work in drafting, developing themselves as general manager. Like, it's a working process. Like, when you sign a GM, you got to confide in their growth as well.
Right.
You know what it reminds me of? Was it 2 seasons ago when Pierre Dorian gave Guy Boucher, he's our head coach, and then it seemed like Melnick a few days later was like, no, and Boucher got fired? It was less than a week later.
That was pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
You knew it was Melnick. You can literally see it on Dorian's face as he's doing the press conference, answering these questions that he shouldn't be answering.
It's also, what's a bit of a joke is they made a point of saying, like, we listened to the wrong people. And I understand the Bagulas own more than the Sabres. But I don't know how you let
That's how the Bills doing.
I don't know how you let yourselves, as, you know, a successful business owner, let the Sabres be what they were. If you just say during Botterill's term, that's fine. Right. But again, 9 years, how many head coaches, how many general managers? I don't really buy the excuse that you were taken advantage of and that you listened to the wrong people. That's 100% your fault.
They make Edmonton's management look good.
Sorry?
Yeah.
They make Edmonton's management look good.
The only reason I might give them a little bit of leeway on that one is because it is true. Like the NHL, like we talked about it a couple months ago, that the NHL was pushing the Arizona Coyotes to bring in Peter Chiarelli. So So I imagine things like that happen, especially because there's the 200 hockey men, right? Like, if a coach gets fired, they're just going to grab a guy who has already been a coach and shove him in there, even if he's
Look
not
at Vegas.
fit. Right. Look at Vegas. Yeah.
Instant replacement.
And like that's the only place I give them a little leeway. And the more I think about it, the worse it gets, because I looked at this yesterday and I go, okay, they got rid of, I think it came out to 22 people. And I go, okay, the Leafs did that. Now I don't remember how long ago it was.
They did clean house a couple years ago to signal the whole rebuild.
Right.
That was the Babcock year.
So they got rid of Dave Nonis and whoever the hell Dave Poulin, whoever the hell else was in there. They brought in Lou Dubas, Hunter. Like, they brought in all new people. So it's like, to me, it's like, okay, you bring in Kevin Adams. And then the issue I have with Kevin Adams is their reasoning for hiring Kevin Adams.
Who the hell is Kevin Adams?
Okay, great.
Stanley Cup winner.
Great. He played 10 years in the NHL. The issue I have is that he's going to be a yes man. He's going to be a yes man. Yes, great. He's been working with the Pagulas for how many years?
It's a very good point.
I remember with Darcy Regier. I remember before the whole like Jack Eichel era, where they had those like idea of quick fixes to get back to the playoffs, like the Ville Leno, Christian Ehrhoff contracts that really kind of bogged them down for a while. And now when you like look towards like what we talked about before, where they get the top picks, but that's about it. They can't draft anywhere else, and then they expect that these guys are just going to carry them.
Being a yes man is arguably worse than being Jason Botterill. Jason Botterill, do you think Jason Botterill wants to sign Jeff Skinner to $9 million?
No,
you think Jason Botterill wanted to make the Ryan O'Reilly trade like that?
That was a terrible return.
Still waiting on Tage Thompson to develop.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
I don't think so.
Still waiting on how are you, Casey Middlestad to become a top line center.
So if you have Kevin Adams in there who's just kissing the Pagula's ass every day, it's just going to be, why don't we just make Terry Pagula the GM of the Buffalo Sabres? At this point, that's what it feels like.
I think,
or Kim. We need equality for all.
Kim, okay, or Kim. How about both of them? Co-GMs.
Co-GMs.
There was a lot made about Kevin Adams. By the way,
wait, quickly, man, Alex went on a tirade there. You need to sip some water.
I know. That happens often on this show.
First of all, I don't trust Kevin Adams because he spells his name with a Y instead of an I.
That's just a red flag right there.
Hey, don't blame him for that, okay? I don't think he chose Kevin with a Y.
That's anyway. Like having Michael with an EAL. It's just fake. It's just fake.
CP mistake in the making.
But what people have very much said is that Kevin Adams doesn't have any sort of hockey executive experience. Because we said, former Leaf, former Cup champion, but he was previously the senior vice president of business administration.
Yes, he was an accounts guy, a money guy, business numbers guy.
Which they have a place in your organization, but as your general manager, what was worrying is that they didn't do, they didn't do a search. Which I understand if you don't want to go to these normal hockey men, but I still think you should at least do the diligence. But then I guess it is what you're saying, Alex. It's just that they're doing their guy, and they want their yes man. We're trying to look.
But even they're just going so unconventionally. Like, I'm just reading up here. You have a couple of options that still that you probably could have used. You had Dean Lombardi. Yeah. He's still free agent. As much as I hate to say it, even Peter Chiarelli, Ron Hextall, Mike Fuda, Mike Gillis.
They could have put Dave Nonis in this position.
Don't you dare say Paul
They
Fenton.
Could have put Dave. Who said Paul Fenton?
Try.
Who said Paul Fenton?
I said Paul Fenton.
They could put Dave Nonis in this position.
You know what? Paul Fenton made one good move. Kevin
that?
Fiala.
That's true.
Which we all laughed at that, but now it's turned into.
Sorry, Paul.
But after that, like, no, I'm just
Yeah.
Yeah, let's sign Matt
there.
Zuccarello and then tell him
John
he's a
Ferguson
lizard
Jr., you know, the Bruins might let him
God.
interview.
Stop
I don't know.
it!
God,
Stop it!
Enough.
First the David Ayers, now John Ferguson. Do you want to remind me about Tuukka Rask?
PTSD.
Is this what you're doing?
No, it's too hard.
PTSD.
Guys, a sort of quote that stood out to me that I want to ask you guys about is the fact that this is not going to be a rebuild.
Right.
And
sorry, go. Finish the sentence, sorry.
thank you. Because you are in a division right now that the Montreal Canadiens are going to play, and they're going to get their young guys. They're going to try and get better. You have the Leafs, who have all the talent. You have the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Boston Bruins, who I don't need to tell any of you what those teams are about. And you are the Panthers, who are going to do something insane, but still have such star power up front. I don't know exactly how they plan on not rebuilding and getting competitive. Yes, Daniel, you mentioned
by acquiring Wayne Simmons at the deadline instead of selling.
Yes.
Sorry, something I thought about before we move on. Yeah. You know who also said this is not a rebuild? Was Brian Colangelo in 2012, and then Masai came in the next year.
Boom.
Two things, or one thing. You're right. It's not a rebuild. It's literally a pile of garbage on fire. It's worse than a rebuild. The Detroit Red Wings are better set up for the future.
Okay, I disagree
I don't. With that. You have You have two arguably generation players. And they have Steve Yzerman. You have Rasmus Dahlin and Jack Eichel. Mm-hmm. Jack Eichel, I'd argue he's a franchise center. Rasmus Dahlin, we don't fully know.
No,
like he's elite.
Yeah,
he's an elite center. Is he franchise? Is he generational? I don't know.
Defensemen take time to develop. It takes some time. But what I think, I want to go on a quote here. Rasmus Ristolainen put it perfectly. We've had he said it, and I quote, "We've had a bright future for 7 years now."
Mm-hmm. What we're talking about Ristolainen here. I wonder, first of all, I think we can all agree here that, you know, Rasmus Ristolainen has been on the block as long as I have been a hockey fan.
They can't decide.
He needs to go, right? Like, there is no question. If there's two big questions around the Sabres right now, it is that, and Alex, you have been very vocal about this since we started this podcast. You need to fix the goaltending. And you need to trade Rasmus Ristolainen because, first of all, what's been Buffalo's biggest issue? It's honestly, if there's been one common factor, it's been their culture. And I think I'm not picking on Rasmus Ristolainen as a person. I don't know him, but that has been a guy you've yo-yoed him for so long now. They can't decide on Rasmus Ristolainen. Is he part of the core or is he not part of the core? Make a decision, stick with it. They haven't made a decision ever.
Another thing you got to keep in mind too is that Buffalo is in a more difficult situation already compared to other teams in the league, in the fact that you're the armpit of America, Buffalo. No offense, I've been to Buffalo, it's fun, but would never want to live there. Sorry, Buffalo. Worst case, Ontario. But there's Buffalo, and then the fact that it's Buffalo, and then there's the high tax bracket. No one wants to play for the Buffalo Sabres, especially if they're a losing team. So if you want free agents to come over, you got to, either bribe them or show them that you have a bright future, which you've been trying to do for 7 years now, and B, you got to overpay them. There's no way, look what you had to do with Jeff Skinner. There's no way Jeff Skinner is going to take a regular $6 million deal.
Yeah.
Even though he's not worthy of that at all. But
Jeff Skinner, Ville Leno, Christian Ehrhoff. Three names right there.
Yeah.
Philly Leno. Oh my God.
I remember that one breakout. Yeah, 2013, I believe. Yeah.
Sorry, Daniel, go ahead.
2013 Ville Leno, where he just overproduced for what has shown in his career, and then the Sabres paid him like crazy.
That 50 point, give him 5 times 5 in the offseason.
I think the best, and it's so weird to say, the best thing they did this year was bring in Wayne Simmons. Isn't like how messed up is that to say? The team sucks, and the best thing was adding at the deadline because he brings in, and I think I've talked about this a lot. They have no culture, no leadership, and they have no goaltending. Mm-hmm. If you fix the goaltending, that fixes one issue. Because
I think Captain Jack is a good leader.
I don't think he's enough. I don't think he's enough.
No. You need more than just one guy steering the ship.
Better
completely agree with that.
And
Kyle Posen wasn't getting you anywhere.
No. That's $6 million.
That's another contract too that we didn't even talk about.
If the team, because the team went on a 10-game winning streak. Was it this year? It was for like 2 years in a row.
They were the top of the league last year. They're number one in the standings.
Yeah, that was in November.
And they dipped, and they couldn't get themselves out of the dip. They went up, and just crashed.
What was that Greek god again that flew too close to the sun? Was it Apollo?
No, that was oh no! God damn it! It was oh my god! No, I know this. It's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, I know it was the wax wings too close to the sun. Oh my god, Mike, you've killed me here. You've killed me.
Icarus.
Okay. Icarus, Jesus, yes, thank. Anyway, but going back to kind of where the Sabres may go in the future when it comes to
nowhere.
All right.
That's a good way to put it.
I mean,
sell them.
Jack Eichel's gonna force his way out.
No, I'm telling you, he's gone. He's gone. This is his last year in Buffalo. I think if it's. They're not set up to do any better. They just lost Lawrence Pilot, who is actually like a decent spark for them. And now, like, just people don't want to play there. And now, like, honestly, I'm telling you, they're going to have a worse year this year. Like, they're not even going to have a hot start like they did last year. And then he's going to request a trade, either mid-season or at the end. He's done with this.
See, and the thing is, I look at this team on paper, and it's not the worst team, right? Like, okay, Jack Eichel, Sam Reinhart. Like, the thing is, Marcus Johansson wasn't that bad, right? And he comes in, right? And then what the hell happened? Comes into Buffalo. Even you look at their back end. Okay, Rasmus Dahlin, yes. Colin Miller, okay. Brandon Montour's not that bad. Jake McCabe's not that bad. And then they brought in Henry Jokiharju, who's not that bad. So what is
nobody
the issue?
Except for Eichel played up to their potential this year. Nobody but Eichel.
And
that's the issue. That's the issue.
Too.
Yeah, Jack Eichel. Yeah, just to say he played at the level he's supposed to play is an understatement. Jack Eichel was a monster this year.
But going back to the Gulas themselves, because they are very clearly now at the guys who are going to be up front running this team. Or
they're incompetent. They're so incompetent.
Well, it's funny you say that, Mike. And Alex, you talked about this a bit. So I'll let you, Alex, just tell us a bit about what Elliot Friedman said when it came to the terms of not only the Jeff Skinner deal, but the deal that apparently Botterill did not want to give Eichel as well.
Quickly, Mike, do you know the NFL? Because I know nothing about the NFL.
I know the NFL.
Are the Buffalo Bills good or
no?
Okay or bad?
Buffalo Bills, and they're not good.
Because I know Tom Brady left, and then they left the Patriots, and then something about their division. I don't know.
No, the Bills are not.
I'm just making sure. I know nothing about football. Okay.
No, they played Houston last, and it wasn't. It was pathetic.
Good. So good, just great. Well, sorry, you want me to talk about Elliot Friedman?
Yeah, and talk because you were about to bring up the fact earlier in the show before I kind of said,
yeah. So I listened to the 31 Thoughts, the 30-minute episode, and they made it seem like the O'Reilly one I heard about somewhere else. But the Skinner and Eichel deals, they weren't so – like Botterill wasn't so willing to give up all that money.
It was term.
Yeah.
especially with Skinner. He's I think Friedman said that Botro was of the mind that Term killed a lot of other teams and he wasn't comfortable. Now Eichel, of course, is a great deal, but Skinner, oof.
Yeah, the Eichel deal, I think maybe at the time when he signed the deal, I don't think he was the star he is now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
that's now $10 million for Eichel. That's a steal now for him.
But Jeff Skinner, I don't know how long his deal is. God. Is it past cap friendly? Cap friendly goes until 25, 26.
I got you.
It was
26, 27, 1 year. It goes 1 year past the cap friendly limit. That's when you know you have an issue.
That's really tough.
That's when you know you have an issue.
8 years, man. 8 years.
Man, I would say 7 for Skinner would have been a bit much because that's what Kane got, and like he's a good player. He's got that goal scoring touch.
It's not
9.
Yeah. It's the number is so scary. The number is so scary. You know, he put up 40 goals.
I'm thinking they're gonna buy him. That's gonna be a buyout. Like that's gonna be something that like.
If there's a compliance buyout,
I don't think they can though. I don't think they can. Honestly, I think it'll just screw them over if you bought him out. I'm looking at it now.
It's like a Ricky Pietro situation.
If it's a compliance buyout, how about if the NHL goes with a compliance buyout?
That'd be great.
Is this the guy the team buys out? Like, is there anyone else?
Okposo.
Yeah, cut your losses somewhere. I don't know. Too much money everywhere.
I'd see Okposo because like if you got a good enough center, I would expect Skinner to go and like if Skinner gets a good enough line mate and puts up 30 next year, I wouldn't be surprised.
Here, I'll give you a great line mate for Jeff Skinner. His name's Jack Eichel. Play him with Jack Eichel. I don't know why they tried not playing him with Jack Eichel.
It just honestly, they didn't have enough patience for him because he wasn't getting up, and like they just didn't believe that. And I honestly think if he was playing with Eichel, that he wouldn't have been that he would have gotten out of his slump, that he wouldn't have been as bad as he was. And obviously, yeah, it's because Eichel, the Eichel effect, of course. But still, I mean, it would have been so much better to just. You know, you guys know it's a failure of a season already. Just put him on the wing so he can at least regain his confidence because you can see he has no confidence right now.
Mm-hmm. Right. I read a comparison between the like Skinner and Eichel to Draisaitl and McDavid and what they mean to the team. And the difference between Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Jeff Skinner and Jack Eichel is that both Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid are centers. So, yeah, play them on 2 different lines. Figure that out. But this is Jeff Skinner who can put up goals if he wants to. Mm-hmm. With Jack Eichel who can get Jeff Skinner the puck.
Banking on Casey Middlestad or Dylan Cozens. I don't know.
Who's their second line
Victor
center?
Olofsson. Don't forget Victor Olofsson.
I don't think we have a second line center.
Don't forget the sweepstakes. The Jimmy Vesey.
Oh, he's back. If Jimmy Vesey signed with the Leafs, William Nylander could be traded. Shut up. Get out of here.
Let's look at the future for Buffalo because again, yes, if
nothing.
If the Goulers are the one who
are
pushing that Skinner deal, the term there. What does that mean for Buffalo going forward? Because that, it's weird when they were talking about at first, we don't trust these hockey men. I was thinking to myself, well, that's quite good because, like you were saying, Alex, I think it was, it's always the same dudes. But I just got this sinking feeling in my stomach about it because we're not used to ownership in hockey, really being up in front. And then with the Pagulas, knowing what we know about the Skinner deal now, I don't think that's going to fill Buffalo fans with a lot of confidence. We should try and get Will Christopoulos to talk about it as well because he's a huge
Sabres fan.
But I mean, guys,
sorry to hear that, Will.
But honestly, I mean,
and I'm a Leafs fan.
What does it mean for Buffalo going forward, having these guys running the team, and like you guys were saying, like having a yes man in front? I mean, this free agency, whenever it does come, could be a disaster if they spend like all this money.
They're losing. Like the Buffalo Sabres are bleeding as a franchise. Their reputation, how much money that's coming in, they're bleeding. So I think, honestly, there's no difference whether you're not going to have any fans this year because of pandemic rules or who's even going to be there. The fans hate them. No one likes them anymore. It's pathetic. And, I think it's important to say that at least, like, you guys are going to have money, like a lot of money, but you have a lot, and I mean a lot, of restricted and unrestricted free agents to deal with this summer. So maybe the only saving grace that Buffalo can do this, whenever this off season is after this crazy season, is just do something with that, like, $40 million or so in cap space that you're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who's a old free agent? Let's give Patrick Marleau another 3 years at $6 million. Okay, let's go. Thomas Vanek. Hey, Tyler.
Oh, did you say Thomas Fleischman?
Tyler Ennis, you want another big contract? Let's go.
Oh, man, if I'm Tyler Ennis, I'm stupid.
Do you know what this team?
They got to extend Jimmy Vesey. Jimmy Vesey.
No,
I forgot about him.
Waiting for that NCAA potential to pan out.
Kobe Baker.
This team needs a president of hockey operations. That's what this team needs, because the owners need to stand back.
Yeah,
they
but
need
at the
to
same
take 10
time,
feet
you need
back.
to make sure that it isn't going to be the same situation like Ottawa, where the president finally says what needs to be said to the owner, and then the owner's like, "No, you're gone."
Yeah.
The Pegulas will do that. The Pegulas will.
Oh,
do
they
that.
will. They need a Brian Murray. That's what this team needs. When he was in Ottawa, no one heard a single thing from Eugene Melnyk.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the team needs.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, the late great. God, he was. If there's going to be a legacy to do with Brian Murray, it's going to be
if someone could control Eugene Melnyk,
and that he put that great sense, like that run they had to the conference finals was his team. Carson, good Kyle Turris.
Going back, we have to remember he also drafted Getzlaf and Perry.
Oh yeah,
that is true.
Of course,
yeah, didn't he? Wow,
yes.
Jesus Christ. So,
here's the biggest question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who's a worse owner, the Pegulas or Eugene Melnyk?
Right now, I would say the Pegulas, because
right now the Pegulas are actually being like they're actually looking better, like worse than Eugene Melnyk.
Which is surprising. Like, I didn't think that'd happen.
And not even that, but like even Scott Malkin, who owns the New York Islanders, is looking better. Like looking like a good owner compared to these guys.
Imagine if the team was semi-good. The amount of fans that would be in that stadium. Well, like they're one Buffalo of the markets.
Loves them. Buffalo loves their sports, man. Buffalo sports are insane.
I want people going through tables and parking lots. Okay, that's all I want. You gotta
go to a Bills game if you want to see that.
I want Sabres Mafia. Bills Mafia has nothing. Okay.
You talk about the attendance. I mean, it's always like viewership and attendance has always been great in Buffalo. But I think if there's another, I keep using this term, red flag, is that attendance in Buffalo this season was getting like worse than the Panthers, which is
and
Arizona. Like
that's really tough, especially if you're in a pretty good market like Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that should speak. Hey, when a bunch of your fans like Melody Martin and Dwayne become superstars because of your incompetence as a franchise.
When your barn is being sold out by guests, when everyone knows that the Leafs' secondary rink is the KeyBank Center.
Well, that and the Canadian Tire Center. The Leafs have like 3 rinks.
Yeah, honestly. Like you're not like you're gonna like I want to go this year because the tickets are so cheap and because I knew I was gonna be like one of the majority of Leafs fans there.
Yeah,
they have no culture.
I went to one game in Buffalo against the Leafs. This was years ago. And I'm in like this. I'm not even at my seats yet. It's just blue. And it's not Buffalo blue. It's Leafs blue. And they're cheering. They're screaming, "Go Leafs, go." I'm just standing trying to get to my seats. And they're screaming, "Go Leafs, go." In an away building. Who does this? Who lets this happen?
They try and do that in Montreal too. So
yeah, but no, Montreal actually has passionate fans despite how bad they are. And Buffalo would have been in the playoffs if they beat Montreal in that. If the last regular season game was their game against Montreal.
The tweet from here. Let me read you a tweet about that. I read from Arpon Boston. From that
Buffalo won that, they would have been in the playoffs when this pandemic broke out.
Oh my Jesus Christ! Sorry about that. Jeez, because I'm finally using headphones so I can hear myself talk. It amplifies out this noise. My Rottweiler, the noise of him barking just got so much. I'm so sorry.
If Buffalo made the playoffs and had to play Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh would have wiped the floor with them.
Yeah.
See Sid going there.
Some playoff Jimmy VC and Wayne Simmons action, though. Don't sleep on that. Come on.
Oh, Curtis Lazar, though? Come on.
Kurt Lazar is?
Oh, my God. I forgot Curtis Lazar is there. Man. How are you, Calgary?
World Junior Captain Great, Curtis Lazar.
You've had a rough career if the highlight of it is eating a cheeseburger that was thrown from the stands onto the ice like Curtis Lazar. Remember that?
Now,
honestly, literally Buffalo, like Montreal has a capability to at least win a game or even steal the series, like we talked about with Carey Price.
Yeah.
But Buffalo, it'd be worse than Vancouver and Minnesota. This is not even a competition. Jack Eichel is literally just playing for 3 games of experience.
Hey, they don't even count.
That's true. It's a play-in. It's not even the playoffs. You said it so perfectly. We can't even make the playoffs when 24 teams are in. And I'm like, dude, I feel so bad for you. Just go. Just demand that trade.
See, because we talked about Rasmus Ristolainen before, and he's another one. His value was kind of started quite high because you're like, oh, he's part of the core. He's a great guy.
They really hyped him up.
All the eye test people loved him, and then it all went down when the eye test people started complaining about Rasmus Ristolainen because all the analytic geeks were like, oh, man, Rasmus Ristolainen isn't any good. And then the eye test people jumped on
underlying numbers.
Yeah. And then the eye test people, what do you get for Rasmus Ristolainen?
A pick? Hopefully.
You're not getting a first. Not anymore.
Do you think you get more than what the Blackhawks got for Eric Gustafsson, which is a 3rd-round pick?
I can see.
Oh yeah,
okay, I think more. A little. I think you get a second.
A second? Oh my God!
But not an early second. Yeah.
No, not an early second.
Well,
borderline 3rd by that point. I don't know.
They were talking about it on.
Buffalo doesn't have a 3rd-round pick until 2022.
Stop it.
They got to replenish that.
Who have they been trading 3rd rounds pick to, and what are they getting for them?
Their 3rd round for this year was in the they sent it to, I don't know actually. I'm trying to figure that out, but they don't own that 3rd pick. And then the 2021 trade was that was a free agency trade. So take it as you want, but they don't even have a 3rd-round pick for till 2022.
The 3rd round part of the Jeff Skinner trade.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, okay.
And don't forget the Wayne Simmons trade.
I had Michael Frolik.
It doesn't help that they also got jobbed when they sent Scandella for a 3rd, then Montreal got a 2nd and a 4th for him.
Montreal got a better return for Scandella.
And they got a big goal against him scoring on the Leafs too.
Yeah,
of course.
Is Jason Botterill's reputation absolutely tarnished that he will not get another general manager job in the foreseeable future?
No, I don't think so.
He has to work back.
I think people understand the situation he was in.
He'll be an organizational guy, but he'll have to work his way back up.
Is his reputation worse than Dave Nonis's when he got fired from the Leafs?
No, because it wasn't in Toronto.
No, Dave Nonis was a timid guy. Even when he was in Vancouver, he was always kind of he was
he was a potato.
I always thought of him as a yes man as well, to be honest. He followed Brian Burke to like 3 different teams.
Oh yeah, yes he was. Yes he was. Where is he now? Isn't he somewhere?
Dave Notice
doing something.
Davey Notice, I swear to God, he's like an assistant to the manager. Like not even a proper title.
He gets some coffee.
He's a special assignment scout
for the Anaheim Ducks.
Yes.
And serves as consultant to Bob Murray. So yeah, he's a bagel boy.
He's a big.
All right, lads.
This team's a dumpster fire. That's what it is.
I don't think we have any other sort of things to talk about when it comes to the Sabres. I think we've dissected them like you do in grade like 11 science to a poor frog.
We did more than dissect them. We brutally murdered them.
They deserve it.
I think you and Mike were the real. I
don't feel bad. I'm sorry.
No regret.
No.
Well,
disgusting.
Screw
you, Buffalo.
We should.
Not even screw Buffalo. Actually, I feel bad. I feel like I've been tweeting about how much I just feel bad for them. It's just screw the Pegulas.
A great fan base who really don't deserve this.
Their goal horn is the best too.
And they have the best play-by-play guy in the league.
Oh, Rick Jeanneret, I love that guy.
Oh my God, do you remember when Jake McCabe destroyed Patrick Laine?
That was the best. My coach was at that game, actually. He had to take a game off because he went to go watch it with his niece or with his granddaughter, and he took a video of it, and it was insane.
The call was like, safely to line of center ice, and he's just on he is done. Oh, Mayday!
No, Rick Jeanneret's one of the only positive things in Buffalo.
Man, you can tell, like, if you watch some games, like, the guys in Detroit are always fantastic, but you can tell this season they were just, here's Larkin to Bertuzzi. I feel like definitely in Buffalo it was like, Eichel and just Skinner, and he misses the net.
Imagine if they had Robin Leonard.
That's a great goalie. Should really gotta get him somehow.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. Sorry to keep going here, but it's another trend. Evander Kane, how much of a mess was that? He's fit in San Jose. Ryan O'Reilly went from hating the game to Conn Smythe winner.
That's really bad. That's the Buffalo effect.
If there's anything the Bagulers like, we're not rebuilding.
Right, you're not.
You're a dumpster fire.
At least they're hanging on to. At least they're keeping their. Why can I not remember their head coach's name? Even though I love the guy,
Ralph Krueger. Freddie
yeah,
Krueger.
because that's the only thing the players like in that city. That's it.
Honestly, if Krugs was gone, I don't think they'd show up for work.
It'd be just another. They'd put him in a garbage bag, tie it up, throw it on the road, and light it on fire. That's what they would be doing, and they're going to do the same thing when Jack Eichel gets traded. It's going to be a garbage trade. So, they're going to put him in a garbage bag, throw him with the rest of the crap, and light it on fire.
Okay.
Jack Eichel for a conditional first, and then
how about this?
Like an AHL blue liner.
Nice.
Let's finish off the show.
Okay.
Shooting on how. Let's start the rumors now. Okay. Jeremy Bracco, a second.
And Connor Brown.
And Travis Dermott. No, because he's gone.
Okay, that's true. Okay, Jeremy Bracco. Okay, we have to replace the players. So the original trade was Tanev for Brown, Nielsen, and a second.
Mm-hmm. So I think
that was when Tanev was pretty good, kind of.
And then Harman Dio came on the show and said,
he's like a fourth defenseman. I'm like, okay, I feel good.
So we can say a second.
Yeah.
I think Bracco's the new trade piece, right?
Jeremy Bracco,
yeah. And then
no value.
And then
he's not even on the 28 man roster.
And Robertson is.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what those reasons were where he had to take that leap of absence, by the way. Love to know.
Just mental health.
Dermott. Yeah, Travis Dermott.
So Dermott, a second, and Jeremy Bracco for Jack Eichel, right?
Yeah.
And then Johnson to make the cap work or something.
Yeah, throw him in somewhere, yeah.
Throw in Johnson, throw in
Kerfoot.
No, just straight up go. I could see it. It'd just be straight up Justin Hole.
Okay,
Yeah,
I thought you were saying. I thought you were saying Goat is in Freddie Goatee. I think you're okay. So Justin.
Hey, let's throw him in there too. Whatever.
We need him, man, to anchor that.
That guy
line.
has no value on this team. I apologize.
Do not forget, we do not have enough contracts signed, so we can't throw away that many players.
Oh.
So.
Shoot.
Oh man. Okay. So.
Okay, we'll take back some of their crap.
Okay, so who's worse? Let me take on Jimmy V.
We'll take Kyle Okposo.
Oh my god. It's gonna be
I'll take Curtis Lazar. Let's go. Curtis, come.
Michael.
So,
Curtis Lazar.
All right.
Scott Wilson. Okay.
Kyle Okposo's gonna be like the next Joffrey Lupul. It's gonna he's gonna just they kind of make him disappear.
A conditional fourth, because you have to have those in these guys.
Conditional fourth. And if the Leafs make the playoffs and he scores 10 points, it becomes a third.
Okay.
That's the condition. I'm
third
just making things up as we go
10
here.
goals in playoffs. Okay. Is that it? Do we have the trade figured out and I can read it to you guys?
We'll send it to Kevin Adams.
Okay, hold on. So this is what we have. It's a bit messy. A second, Jeremy Bracco, Travis Dermott, Andreas Janssen if we need to make the cap work. Martin Marincin, I added him in. Justin
Marty.
Hall,
You can't get rid of Marty.
Gauthier.
You take Marty off that list right now. He's a lifer.
All right, we're taking off Martin Marincin. Okay, Paul, Gauthier, Bracco, Dermott, Janssen the second.
That's so much.
Okposo, Wilson.
Yeah.
I can't read my own writing.
Eichel.
Yeah, forgot to put him in. Eichel.
Oh yeah, we're just giving up random. We're giving up guys for just garbage.
And a fourth that if Eichel scores 10 goals in the playoffs, it becomes a third.
Yeah.
No, I'm just telling you, man, straight up, just 1-for-1 Eichel from Marincin.
Okay.
Only way I'd ever want Marty gone.
Eichel for Marty. Okay. And you heard it here first. We're gonna get when you start hearing. Okay, well then we're gonna take this the other side here. Okay. So here's how we'll start off. Okay, Eichel.
Yeah.
We're gonna put 2 seconds.
It's just Montreal. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We're gonna throw in Paul Byron.
Yeah.
Because why not? Carl Alsner because he needs top work. Carl Alsner. Who else? I need.
But you guys have so many draft picks. You got to throw some picks in there, man.
Xavier Ouellet.
3 second rounders.
3 second.
Lehkonen.
Is Byron
Lehkonen
Byron Frage still on your team?
Christian Folin.
He's Christian Folin. Yeah. All right. Hold on.
Dale Weiss.
Weiss is a free agent.
Charlie Lindgren, because he's not going to get a chance. Let's just
Charlie Lindgren, no.
Or Michael McCarron or whatever his name is.
He got traded.
Nick Evans.
He did.
You leave Jake Evans.
Wait, who's the goalie? Oh, McNiven, is that the goalie?
Yeah, he doesn't get a chance. Yeah.
Okay, so trade McNiven.
Jordan Wheel.
Jordan, the real deal. I met him. Oh, what a nice guy, Jordan Wheel.
Okay, we can't trade
Charles Hudon.
Yeah, Charles Hudon. Can't trade Brett Kulak because that's not fair.
You will not touch my dear sweet.
He's a nice guy.
Charles Hudon. What? All right.
Do you have any other big contracts we can just throw in there?
Shea Weber.
No, you don't. No. He's good. Don't leave me my captain. I love
literally the most. No one's making more than $8 million on the Habs other than Price.
So can we give Carey Price because it?
No.
Why not?
No. It's too controversial.
That's not even. You're just insulting at him.
But they need a goalie. You get rid of. It worked cap-wise extremely well.
We've put Lindgren and McNiven in. That's 2 goalies.
Okay, already. So we'll take Lindgren out because then it'd be Primo and Lindgren.
You re-signed Zach Fucale to include him in the trade.
Exactly.
Zach Fucale isn't in Montreal system anymore.
I know, that's why you signed him back.
No,
you signed him back.
No, you don't trade Primo. You don't trade Primo. That's who your starting goalies are, Primo and Lindgren.
All right, this is
just gotten Louis Domingue or Keith Kincaid.
Yeah,
man, Keith Kincaid isn't I think he's
former Devil starter.
Buried.
Remember when Keith Kincaid carried the Devils to the playoffs?
Yeah.
And then it set their franchise.
And then Taylor Hall won the Hart because Connor McDavid didn't make the playoffs. You
heard it here first. The Sabres are going to be the ones who give Taylor Hall a stupid deal. Anyway, we're just kind of shooting it now, so I think it's time to wrap things up here. Again, we want to thank Mike for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We asked him 12 hours ago.
I was still awake.
Yeah, same here. I saw like Will Baldwin tweeting at 3 a.m. and I wanted to say, "Go to bed, Will." But hey, I think we're all kind of.
Unless he's. Oh, I was gonna say if he's back in Calgary, that's like a couple hours behind. So maybe, but I think he's still here.
Yeah, I forgot he's from Calgary. I wonder how good Riley Fossils is doing. Good old I know he's back in Vancouver. Good. Another really funny guy, Riley Fossils, by the way. Love that guy. Hayden Campbell too. Love that guy. Had him.
I'm seeing him tonight.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to Hayden's place. He's back in Toronto.
Yeah, tell him I say hi, eh?
I will do.
Sweet. I know he's another Star Wars fan. We were talking about the Mandalorian once.
Dude, him and I play Battlefront all the time.
Oh yeah?
Cool.
Man, I love Kashyyyk, my favorite map.
My least favorite map.
Get like you're banned from the show. How do you not like Kashyyyk? It's wicked.
Map-wise, my favorite map is probably got to be... I don't know. Honestly, I'm not a big Clone Wars guy when it comes to playing Supremacy. If I'm playing Supremacy, I want to play on either... Honestly...
Yavin, get out.
I'm not going to say Yavin. I hate Yavin. I was going to say... what's that map that you played for the First Order? I hate that map.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a dumb one.
Okay.
I can't even tell you what it's called.
I'm not even going to lie. I kind of like Jakku. Jakku is not bad. And I love Endor.
I don't know how I feel.
Guys, why does everybody want to go back to Jakku?
I don't. It's okay, well, I think...
Finn's best moments.
Okay, well, yeah. Anyway.
That's the best line from Star Wars ever. Where are you from? I'm from nowhere. No. Where are you from? I'm from Jakku. Okay, well, it's basically nowhere.
Well, anyway, yeah, tell Hayden I say hi. I'm guessing he's watched the last season of Clone Wars too, because we're shooting.
I don't know. I'll probably ask him about that.
Yeah, dude. I hope he's well. Again, really, he was. You know what? I'll tell you guys this. When we came back from winter break, you know what? In Gary Gould's class, right? Obviously, like I always sit with Alex. Daniel was doing his master's, so he doesn't like us anymore. I saw like. Sorry.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal. This guy, who cares? Well, anyway, like, I waved at Will and Riley when I saw them. But the only person when I came back from winter break that, stood up, came and saw how I was and asked about my break was Hayden. So, like, I love that guy. He's just so genuine. Everyone in our program is so cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, please, go check out the YouTube experience because you get to see all our beautiful faces. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Kilo today. That's pretty disappointing.
Yeah, he came down and he just hung out on the couch, but now he went back upstairs, I think.
Doing his own thing today.
Yeah.
So, Mike, with you going to Ottawa, are you still going to be able to do the draft lottery stuff?
Oh, no, I'm not moving until July, so...
Okay. Well, as a little teaser here, guys, listeners, we're gonna have an episode put up where the four of us are just gonna kind of record and watch the draft lottery and just kind of put that up, see how it goes. It'll be pretty laid back. Depending on how the lottery goes, it might be loud, it might be fun. We'll try not to swear because Voice Ed is very gracious to have us on the platform. We don't want to do that. But yeah, seriously,
if you
enjoyed
the show, trashing people either.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I said they don't like you trashing people either.
I didn't do. Listen, we trashed the Pagulas. Again, where's the lie?
That's different. Nowhere.
No, it's not. Okay. Anyway, if you're listening on iTunes, be sure to give it a rating, leave a review. Tell us what your least favorite thing about the Sabres is. Be sure to check out the show on YouTube. I already said that. Check out my YouTube channel for all your Habs content need. Is
there a new video coming out soon? Or?
When it gets closer to training camp, I'll probably do a series preview against the Penguins. Okay. We'll see. And by the way, like whenever I may get this jaw surgery, I might be out and not be able to talk for a while. So, Mike, they may be dragging you back on if you're free. Don't steal my
man.
But anyway, check out the show's Instagram. Check out the show's. Daniel has been very vigilant in getting the Facebook going. Thank God, because more people like that than they do the Instagram page. So that's pretty sweet. I think that's it, guys. Hey, you guys go say a final for a while to the lovely, lovely listeners.
You know what?
Thanks, guys. This was fun.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
The Buffalo Sabres suck.
Yeah.
That's all.
But yeah, also episode recommendations if anybody wants a topic to be discussed. We are open.
Yeah, we don't. We're kind of lost.
We're a little
Our next
stuck.
episode is about to be about Nightmare Before Christmas, so we're kind of
Oh
lost.
yeah.
If you guys ever need help trashing, you guys know I'm here.
Oh,
Especially when it comes to New Jersey or Buffalo.
New Jersey or Buffalo. How about Mike Babcock?
I can't trash him. Even though I want to trash him, I can't. I have to trash.
Why?
Just wait till when we do this draft lottery episode, and New Jersey win again, and Mike's just gonna be like,
I'm gonna throw my mic into the monitor.
That's all, folks.
And I'm just gonna walk up. Screw you, New Jersey.